Wouldn't it be cool if building a website felt like working in your favorite design tool? With Framer.
Okay, guys, we did it. We have completed the Piggy book. So the first thing, basically, and then after you do that, you're actually going to go into chapter 12, the lab. Now, this is going to be in bot mode. It has to be in bot mode. Now, again, this is where friends come in handy because you're going to need so much letter.
Excuse me.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list view. Next, I set a priority and a due date to keep things on track. I create custom statuses to organize my progress exactly how I want it.
Look at me! I am the gym leader now! It can be quite fun to imagine yourself as a gym leader in the Pokemon world, so I'm gonna do that, but take it to the next level. Here are what my gyms would be if I was a gym leader in each of the 9 mainline regions. I have 3 rules though. Number 1, my team must be comprised entirely of Pokemon from a version of that region's regional dex. For example, I'm not using Lucario in Kanto. Number 2, my ace must be an introduced in that region Pokemon or form, with one exception that we'll get to later. And number 3, I cannot copy the type specialty of any other gym leader in that region. But I can overlap with the Elite Four or Champion because that's been done a bunch of times before. We begin in Kanto. For most of my gyms, I'm gonna choose the location after the type specialty because the type specialty could help dictate where the gym should be. But for this region, I'm doing the opposite. Fuchsia City has always intrigued me. Basically, the whole town is a literal zoo, and then on top of that, it houses the Safari Zone, a wildlife preserve. Well, at least it does in Gens 1 and 3. Gens 2 and 4 have neither the zoo nor Safari Zone, and Gen 7 has Pokemon just wandering around and still no Safari Zone. But let's focus on Gens 1 and 3, those are the traditional Kanto experiences. Because of these 2 aspects, Fuchsia City is very clearly a wildlife-focused town. So I find it a bit strange that the gym leader is a ninja that uses pollution Pokemon. So I am replacing him. If I was a Kanto gym leader, I would take Koga's place in Fuchsia City when he leaves for the Elite Four. Take that, Janine, you dumb Nepo baby! This does bring up an important note for the video though. Generally, I'm gonna try to choose gym towns that do not already have another gym in them. But I won't always be able to do that. Some of the earlier regions just don't have enough options, and then other times there's an existing gym town that's just too perfect of a fit for me to pass up. Here in Kanto, my only no gym town options are Pallet and Lavender. Pallet is too small, and while I could go to Lavender, I don't want to. Creeps me out. But back to Fuchsia, I basically want to take both Koga's and the Safari Zone Warden's jobs, so I can specialize in unique and rare wild Pokemon. And counterintuitively, that leads to a specialty of normal. Sure, there are normal types everywhere, like Rattata and a lot of the birds, but there are others that are so rare and unique, you might even be able to consider them endangered. Tauros, Kangaskhan, and Chansey are the easy initial picks, since in Gen 3, all of them are only found in the Safari Zone. Chansey is found in Cerulean Cave in Gen 1, but not 3. Snorlax is the next choice, because while it's not in the Safari Zone, it's definitely rare. The player can catch only 2 in the whole game. Finally, I'd use Dodrio. You can find it and Doduo around the region, but Doduo does run around the Safari Zone. Tauros would be my ace, since while I know Snorlax is stronger, Tauros fits the Safari theme a lot better, and also, I really like it. Should there be a rematch involving Mega Evolution, like how Blue uses Mega Charizard Y in Let's Go, then of course my ace becomes Mega Kangaskhan. When I started this video, I didn't think I was gonna go for normal in any of the regions, but I like this team quite a bit. I've always felt that Giovanni could have been a normal gym leader thanks to his pre-gym usage of Kangaskhan and Persian, but I think his would have had a much different vibe from mine, and I like mine more, because it has Tauros. By the way, I should mention, I will default to 5 Pokemon for most teams in this video. This allows me to show my squad if I were the final gym leader, since 5 is the most that any gym leader has ever used in their initial battle. This way you can also figure out my team if I'm an earlier leader simply by removing and de-evolving team members. For the gym puzzle, it would of course be Safari themed. I picture the player searching out secret switches or objects within a Safari Zone aesthetic maze. Then maybe gym trainers pop out of the tall grass to surprise you. Now on to Johto. This was a bit of a challenge for me due to my own self-imposed rule of the ace Pokemon having to be native to this specific region. Now, many actual gym leaders don't follow that rule themselves, especially in Johto, but I hate that, so I will be holding myself to a higher standard. This makes it tricky in Johto though because of the small amount of new Pokemon that Johto added. Then it gets worse because many of them are baby Pokemon, and then several of my personal favorites are off limits because their specialties overlap with Johto gym leaders, some of them already being gym leader aces. There is one Pokemon that I like that isn't off limits though. Lantern. Blue and yellow, goggles, and cute. It's great. Lantern does cause other problems though. For one, it's not good. It would be an underwhelming ace as a final gym leader. Additionally, I now have to pick whether I want water or electric. There's another Pokemon that solves both of those problems though. Ampharos. It's an iconic Johto Pokemon, yet within the games, it ends up relegated to being a lighthouse bulb. And I'm gonna say it, that is so stupid. Using an actual light bulb would not only be more efficient, but also it'd be more humane. Right now, they're working Amphi to the point of illness. Ampharos is also quite a bit stronger than Lantern, so it can be my ace. And thus I can be an electric type gym leader, which is nice because it's my favorite type. To fill out the rest of the team, I'd use Electabuzz because of Elekid, Jolteon because I like it, and Electrode. I wanted to avoid Raichu because of Lieutenant Surge, and Magneton because Jasmine's already using 2 Magnemites. As for my location, the only 2 open towns are New Bark Town and Cherry Grove City, but those are way too small and uninteresting for my taste. I could go with Olivine City because of the lighthouse, but remember, we don't like that lighthouse. Instead, I'd put my gym in Goldenrod City for 3 reasons. Number 1, the color association. Number 2, the electrical vibes with the radio tower and the magnet train. And number 3, I could put Whitney out of a job. I hate her. I would do it so much better. I'd be so much more professional. If I were to be defeated, I would not cry in front of you. I'd go home and do it in the shower like a normal, healthy person. As for the puzzle, I propose something with circuits. Maybe the player could rotate wires to complete circuits that then light up some big light bulbs and then they move on to the next one. You could do a few in a row and they'd get more complicated with each puzzle until you eventually reach the end. Next is Hoenn, my home region, and this is a team that I've actually built before. Years ago, I did another If I Was a Gym Leader video, but I only did 2 gym leader versions of me. One for Galar, the most recent region at the time, and then one without restrictions. My without restriction gym was a Hoenn grass type gym. Hoenn is such a lush region with several awesome grass types, yet it doesn't have a grass specialist at all. I'm gonna make a few changes to that original team though, because I'm gonna be more restrictive. Originally I had Sceptile because it's my favorite Pokemon, but since gym leaders basically never use starters pre-rematch, I don't feel it works if I use it. My ace would instead be Tropius. I love it and it's the perfect Hoenn jungle Pokemon. It unfortunately, like Lantern, is not great. But that's the developer's fault, not mine. It is a big, flying dinosaur, and yet its base stat total's only 460? I have to live with this one though. Like, it's too perfect to go with a stronger Pokemon. For the rest of the team, Breloom is a must. I love Breloom, as are Ludicolo and Shiftry. To finish it out, I'm using Roselia or Roserade, depending on the version of Hoenn. Cacturne and Cradily are great Pokemon, but they're arid climate grass types, not jungle ones. And then Vileplume and Blossom feel too much like Erica's Pokemon, not a Hoenn leader's. If this team got some kind of post-game rematch though, I would definitely add on Mega Sceptile, since none of the other 5 can Mega Evolve. Fort Tree City is the easy pick for a gym because it's always been my favorite city in all of Pokemon. Treehouse towns are simply awesome in every piece of media in which they appear. And of course, it's preposterously perfect for a grass gym. For tree. It's built in tree. What, flying? Why flying? Birds build nest in tree? Why, no, that's in tree, not tree. Put Winona in Lilycove. I don't know what happened there, but you get the point. My gym puzzle would be a maze with treehouse elevators taking you to different floors, much like Byron's gym in Sinnoh. I don't know how people who cannot climb ladders are supposed to live in Fortree. Guess there's no ADA in Hoenn, no HDA, I guess. But maybe the gym leader version of me makes those elevators and then also uses them in his gym. Also, if you want to see me do an entire Hoenn playthrough as a grass gym leader, I did that a few years ago. The team is not exactly the same, but it is close. Haha, it is I, Grunty Boy, and I am dying! Now that it's summer, this heat is killing me. A long sleeve black uniform is not designed for oppressive sunlight. You know, I actually have an idea that can help distract you from your discomfort. It involves the everyday headphones from Raycon, the sponsor of this video. Ah, of course! The perfect sidekick for a great summer! The latest model of the everyday headphones has a 40-hour battery life and a comfortable ergonomic design, letting you enjoy them all day long. They also have hybrid active noise cancellation, which is super nice for getting into my own world at the gym. This is extra impressive because the everyday headphones are half the price of other premium audio brands, and getting noise canceling functionality on headphones under $100 is very rare. They're fantastic for sure, but what was your idea for how they could help with my heat problem? You put them on and play the sounds of Antarctica. Frigid winds, cracking icebergs, tap dancing penguins. It could take you to a new mental space and help cool you off. That's ridiculous. There is no way that... Oh my God, I'm freezing! You're a genius! I know. Experience premium sound wherever you go. Head to buyraycon.com/MNJTV15 to get 15% off site-wide, linked in the description below. Thanks, pal. Now to try to do my work without shivering too much. Ta-ta! Sinnoh is next up, and if you've watched enough of my videos, you know that I love Gliscor. So of course, I will build my team around it. This does mean that Sinnoh Gym Leader me would only work in Platinum's version of Sinnoh, not Diamond Pearl or BDSP, because Gliscor is only in the Platinum Sinnoh decks. And that's great. Why would I want to be a gym leader in a worse version of Sinnoh? Gliscor is ground flying type, so I need to pick one of those. Ground has quite a few Pokemon I like, such as Gastrodon or Mamoswine, but then I would overlap with Bertha. That is allowed, but since flying does not have a Sinnoh specialist, it's easier to go with that. Which works well because... Go Team Sky! With Gliscor as the ace, the next most obvious flying Pokemon is Staraptor. It'd be weird not to have Staraptor on a flying team in Sinnoh. Next, I want Gyarados. The only time a major flying specialist has used Gyarados is Winona in the Pokemon World Tournament, and I think more of them should. It fits especially well in Sinnoh, since it's the only place we ever really get to see Gyarados fly. I'll toss on Chatot, since it's a Sinnoh Pokemon, and then finally Honchkrow as another Sinnoh flying type. There were several other options I could have gone with, including Togekiss, but I didn't want to risk overshadowing Gliscor. For the location, the best fitting town is conveniently one that does not have a gym, that being Floaroma Town. Now, obviously this fits great as a grass gym, but that already exists in Eterna. The reason Floaroma works for a flying gym is because of its proximity to the Valley Windworks. Ho 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 ho! For my gym puzzle, I picture something where you rotate fans to turn some small windmills, kind of like this shrine in Breath of the Wild. Next is Unova, and for simplicity, I'm picking from the expanded Black 2 White 2 decks. Like Sinnoh, I'm picking my type specialty based on one of my favorite Pokemon from that region, Gigalith, which of course makes me a rock gym leader. Also, ideally, this exists in a future version of Unova where Gigalith can have Sandstream because it doesn't normally get that until Gen 7, but that would be super useful for a rock gym. We'll add on Archeops, Caracosta, and Crustle, the only other fully evolved rock types in the Black and White Unova decks. Good thing I said we can use Pokemon from Black 2 White 2. The final Pokemon will be Aggron, since I think it is very cool. Unova actually has quite a few towns that are available as potential gym towns. Anvil Town intrigues me, since putting a gym there would force the player to go there, when in normal gameplay it's totally skippable. Lentimas Town's aesthetic, desert climate, and proximity to a volcano all suit a rock trainer well, but it's just so small. That's why I would choose Undella Town. Sure, it's a beach town, so that would make you think water, but look at all that sand! Sand, I tell you! Sand is rock! Maybe I could work as a geologist supervising Reversal Mountain. If it starts to act up a little bit, I could help deal with that. And then in my off time, I could go to the beach. Not set foot in the water, but build sand castles. Play sand volleyball with a rock. For my gym puzzle, amusingly, rock-type gyms tend to just be simple mazes, if you can even call them that. That's because of the first 4 regions, 3 of them have a rock gym as the first one. Even Grant's gym is a maze, just more vertical. I want a true puzzle for my gym, so I propose